Have you ever picked up a textbook or read a scientific paper and just admired how clean and perfect it looks? Well, chances are you were looking at a document made with a system called LaTeX. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredible tool and see why its approach is so different and so powerful compared to the word processors we use every day.
Oh, we've all been there, right? You're wrestling with a big document, trying to get page numbers and images to just stay put. And one tiny change suddenly throws your entire layout into absolute chaos. Well, that's exactly the kind of headache LaTeX was designed to prevent. But it does it with a totally different way of syncing. And that whole philosophy really boils down to one powerful idea: separation. We're talking about separating the content of your document, the actual words you write, from the form, which is how it all looks on the page. The idea is, instead of fiddling with fonts and margins while you write, you can just write. So most of us grew up using what are called "what you see is what you get" editors. You click the bold button and boom, the text looks bold instantly. LaTeX, on the other hand, uses what's called a markup approach. It's more like what you see is what you mean. And honestly, this is the big aha moment. You stop telling the computer how to make things look and start telling it what things are. And here's why that's so freeing. It means you get to be the author. You focus completely on your ideas, your arguments, your story. You let the system itself, which was programmed by actual typesetting experts, handle all those complex, fiddly rules of good design. To put it simply, you handle the writing and LaTeX handles the design.
So this is what we mean by logical markup. Instead of shouting commands like, make this text bold and 18-point font, you just calmly state, hey, this line of text, this is a section title. The system then takes over, looks up the predefined style for all section titles, and formats it perfectly and consistently every single time. It's brilliant.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this philosophy actually work in practice? Well, it's important to know that LaTeX isn't just one single program. It's really a system with two main layers.
At the very core, you have TeX. This is the raw, incredibly powerful typesetting engine that was created by the legendary computer scientist Donald Knuth. But working directly with TeX is, well, it's pretty complex. That's where Leslie Lamport comes in. He built LaTeX on top of TeX as a set of user-friendly macros. It gives us all those nice, logical commands we just talked about, making the raw power of TeX accessible to, the rest of us. And just to give you a sense of how unbelievably stable and well thought out this system is, here's a great little tidbit. Its creator, Donald Knuth, considers the TeX program to be basically finished. It's done. So to reflect that, with each minor bug fix, the version number gets another digit of pi added to the end. The plan is that when he passes away, the version number will be set to exactly pi forever. How cool is that? But here's the thing. The core LaTeX system is really just the starting point. Where it gets really interesting is the massive worldwide ecosystem that's been built around it over decades. Think of it like a giant open source bazaar. It's this huge library of add-ons called packages that have been created and shared by users from all over the world. And they're all designed to solve specific problems. Seriously, if there's something you need a document to do, chances are somebody has already built a package for it. And what can these packages do? Oh, just about anything you can dream up. The AMS LaTeX packages give you unmatched control over complex math equations. Other packages let you easily drop in graphics and use color. There are incredible packages for automatically managing your bibliographies, designing custom page layouts, or even creating entire presentations. Yep, like this one right here. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. All this power sounds amazing, but what does writing in LaTeX actually look like? Is it super complicated? Let's take a quick peek under the hood. You might be surprised by how simple it is. And this is it. That's a LaTeX source file. It's just a plain, simple text file. You can open and edit it in any basic text editor, like Notepad. As you can see, it's just a mix of your actual content, the sentences you're writing, and these special markup commands, which almost always start with a backslash. Now, every single LaTeX document has the same basic two-part structure. You've got the preamble up top, which is where you define all the global settings for the document, and then you have the body, which is where all your actual content goes. So in the preamble, the very first line is almost always document class. This one command tells LaTeX the kind of document you're making. Is it an article, a book, a report?
and it automatically loads all the right professional formatting for you. After you've set up your document class and maybe loaded a few packages, you type line begin document. This is like drawing a line in the sand. It tells the system, okay, all the setup is done. Everything from here on out is the actual content. And then, at the very end of the file, you just close it all off with end document. And that's it. That's the entire skeleton. Those 3 basic commands create the whole structure. All you have to do is fill in the middle part with your words. So let's bring this all home. What's the big payoff here? After decades, why is LaTeX still considered the absolute gold standard for any kind of serious professional document? Well, it really comes down to 4 massive wins. First, quality. You get typography that looks like it came from a professional printing press, even if you know nothing about design. Second, stability. Because it's plain text, a file you write today will still work perfectly in 20 years. Try that with other software. Third, math and science. Nothing else on Earth handles complex formulas better. And finally, automation. It builds your table of contents, your bibliography, and all your cross-references for you automatically. It's a lifesaver. And never forget that incredible ecosystem. With well over 1,000 packages available in a standard distribution, you're tapping into decades of shared knowledge from a global community. You're never really starting from scratch. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. So that brings us to the final essential question. When you use LaTeX, you're making a trade. You give up that immediate, hands-on, moment-to-moment visual control that you get with other editors. But what you get in return is ultimate power, absolute consistency, and a final document that looks breathtakingly professional. And for millions of people, that's a trade worth making every single time.